there has been a increase and a focus, not only food deserts. So when we talk about food deserts, people really don't like to use the word food deserts, but we use it a lot just because that's just a word that people know. And the reason why they don't want to use it because they said that deserts are natural, and what happens in communities is that food deserts are not natural. We know that. However, so but when we also look at that landscape and we look at the communities that don't have it, we understand why, and we understand why, but then we don't understand why. Usually in those communities, black and brown communities, we have a different connection when it comes to food. I'll just use the word connection, and it's rooted in soul. It's rooted in history, and so I think a lot of those places, we get forgotten about when it comes to fresh access, and part of it is knowledge, part of it is access. But and I always tell people, there's a way, like when we overcook our collard greens and we overcook our cabbage and we cook all the nutrients. So we've got to find a way to have that, then something else, because we need those nutrients. We can't, even though there was a notion at one point where people were talking about white folks food and black folks food and what white people did to their food or didn't do to their food. But when we look at the numbers, I always remind people, when we look at the numbers in our culture, for us, the rates of high blood pressure, diabetes is the highest. So how do we explain that? I mean, what are we talking about when it comes to saying that a nice salad with beets and onions and oranges in it, is for white people, when it's a healthy, it's for all of us. So it's really incumbent upon us, as black people, people of color, to tap in and let our city leaders know and let big corporations know, hey, we want this food as well. So that's just kind of like one of the things that really, is on my mind heavily as I'm educating people, because we've got to break that stigma, and we've got to change the landscape for not only for us, but we've got to change it for our grandchildren. We've got to have people to be able to walk, or we've got to have access to these foods. People learn better. Our communities are better when communities are healthier. The workforce jobs come because people, they're not afraid that people are the health risks that are just so high, and that people are going to come to work. So everything is connected to a healthy diet. When corporations see high rates of diabetes, cholesterol, they know that those are the people that are not the healthiest. And when we look at workforce, who's coming here? And so those are some of the things that you can think about. And we've got to change the way we eat. We got to change the way we people understand what our diets consist of, and only people that can do that is us. And so that's why we go so hard to educate people, because we have to change that narrative, so that way these big corporations can understand that people like spinach on this side of the town too. People like eggplant on this. I mean, it's just really one of those things, and we've got to really work to make sure that people understand how to prepare it, what it tastes like, so that way, it's data. It's like people got to see that people really want that, and so that's what we come in and do a really good job, because we have all those things on our bus as well. So we're educating them, we're teaching them how to prepare it, and we're just making a mark that way.